The CELPIP Reading Test assesses your ability to read and understand various types of texts in English. The reading section can be tough to crack even if you are a verse English speaker. Many people often find it challenging to score very high marks in the reading section of the test. And for those who are unfamiliar with CELPIP, it is Canada's leading general English test for immigration, citizenship, and professional designations. So you might be attending a college in Canada and you might be required to do the CELPIP test. Now, in this video, we will explore in detail what the CELPIP reading section entails. In the previous video, which in the description you will find a link, it will take you to the listening section. We have gone over it, and then in subsequent videos we will start doing sample questions. And in this video, however, I'm going to look at some tips on how you can crack the reading portion of your CELPIP test. Again, never underestimate your CELPIP test, even if you are a verse English speaker. And the same is true for all the modules. Get familiar with the format of the test by doing the free test that is available, and I will talk about the different resources where you can be assisted at the end of this video. Welcome to Perceptive Mindset. I am so random. If you are new, thank you for stopping by. I hope you will find value in my content. If you are already subscribed, thanks for the support. So again, what is CELPIP test? The Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, or CELPIP, is Canada's English language proficiency test. It is designed for those who want to live in Canada permanently, and this test evaluates a person's ability to speak English accurately in daily life. Now, there are two parts, or there are two types rather, of the CELPIP test. There is the CELPIP General, and this one evaluates a test taker's English listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills, and is officially designated for permanent residence applications by IRCC, and is also accepted for professional designations. So this is a breakdown of the general test. It is a 3 hours, it can go up to 3 hours and 15 minutes computer-based test, which contains 4 sections. You have the reading, and that's from about 55 minutes to 60 minutes. Then you have the writing section, 53 to 60 minutes, the speaking, 15 to 20 minutes, the listening, 47 to 55 minutes. And this has to be undertaken in one sitting. So you'll only do this once. You'll do all the different components or modules in one sitting. Then there is the CELPIP General LS, and this is only available if you are in Canada. So this one evaluates the test taker's English listening and speaking skills, and is officially designated for citizenship applications by IRCC, and is also accepted for professional designation. Like I said, this one is available only in Canada. And here's a breakdown for the CELPIP General LS test. It only has a listening and a speaking component. However, for today, we are focusing on the CELPIP General test that assesses the 4 different areas. In the previous video that I have done, we looked at the CELPIP listening test. So in this video, we'll be looking at the reading component of the test. For the reading test instructions, it's about 55 minutes, and there are 4 parts in the reading test, and you will have about 10 minutes to read each passage and answer the questions. So let's look at some tips to succeed in CELPIP reading module. So reading to apply a diagram is a part of the reading test, and this is where you will be provided with a diagram. There will be 8 questions based on the diagram that needs to be answered in 9 minutes. Now that diagram, you might see pictures, and you might have to tell what you think is happening on the picture, what you think will happen next. And so there are inferences that also have to be drawn. And also you just need to evaluate the diagram, and then based on the questions asked, you say what you think is happening based on the multiple choice questions presented. Reading for information, and this section will have a paragraph in which the words and the phrases will be missing. You have to select the right option from the 4 options that they provide, and there will be about 9 questions for this section. So you have reading to apply a diagram, and then you have reading for information. Another section of the reading is reading for viewpoints. In this part, you will be provided with an article, various opinion pieces, and then there will be questions based on the reader's viewpoints that needs to be answered in about 13 minutes. And then you have reading correspondence. This part is divided into 2 sections, and in the first part, there's an email or letter based on which 5 to 6 questions will be asked. In the second part, 5 to 6 questions will be asked where the blanks have to be filled. So the reading correspondence portion is divided into 2 sections. So those are the components of the reading portion. So let's look at some tips to succeed in the CELPIP reading module and pretty much all the other modules. An ideal strategy to score high in CELPIP reading section may be made up of the following steps and any other step that you think works for you. Use elimination. Now, this is an old method when you are doing multiple choice questions. Very basic method that you can use. You can eliminate the answers that you think is wrong, and you will ultimately get the correct answer. Sometimes the answers is just not too obvious, but then the incorrect answers are so obvious, so you can use the process of elimination to get the correct answer. Another tip, timing, and this is true throughout all the different modules of the CELPIP test. Timing. You have limited time to attempt the reading section and to complete all 4 tasks. Therefore, you must check the timer and finish every answer on time. You won't get any extra time. You don't even have to hit next to move on. Once the timer runs out, then the screen will automatically move you on. So make sure to select an answer. Even if you are uncertain, make sure to select an answer. That will enable you to, even if you get it wrong, you will not be losing any marks. There's no negative marks that will affect you. But what it does, the possibility exists that it's a 50-50. You can get it right, you can also get it wrong. But be mindful of the time, and you have to complete your tasks within the time allotted. Proofread. So if you find the time at the end, if time permits, then you can check the answers that you have provided. Remember, you will not be able to go back. So invariably, each section that you complete, so be it the reading for correspondence, reading to apply the diagram, each section of the reading that you complete, if you have enough time to proofread the answers and to double check, do that. You just might see something that you might want to change the answers if it is applicable. So if you find time at the end of each section of the test, then you can proofread and see if there was any mistakes that you have made. What if you thought you had selected an answer, but in going through your answers, you realize that you have selected the wrong one? Then this is where, if time permits, then you can go over your work. After all, it's an English proficiency test, and you shouldn't look like a beginner in English. So you can improve your English by reading books and novels. And interesting way to do this is by reading fiction. You can also watch English movies, analyze their English on various parameters like tone, grammar, speed, volume, etc. Your vocabulary will have a lot to do, especially with your speaking and your writing, because they will look at how interesting you write and the different vocabulary that you use. So you can, for sure, if you ever plan on taking the CELPIP test or any other English proficiency test, try to improve your English. At the end of the day, you don't want to appear like you are a beginner, because this is a proficiency test to see how well you can communicate in English. So sample test is one of the easy tips to prepare for the CELPIP reading module. Let's look at some frequently asked questions. And the first one is how to improve your CELPIP reading. And we just mentioned that you can read, you can watch movies, you can listen to the TV, analysts and any interesting conversation that you can enhance your vocabulary from. You are encouraged to use all the resources that can help you in that regard. How to take the CELPIP reading sample test. The CELPIP reading sample test is available on the website and it is free of cost. So you can try it out on the website and I will show you that in a bit. How to score 9 in CELPIP reading. To score 9, all you really have to do is you have to manage your time. You have to practice, practice, practice. And however you can improve on your English, your interpretation, your vocabulary, your understanding, all of those combined can help you to score 9 or higher in the CELPIP reading. And finally, is the CELPIP reading difficult? Well, it all depends on the English proficiency of the person taking the test. It could be difficult for some persons, while for others, it could be considered easy. So it really just depends on your proficiency and how versed you are in the English language. Now, for the resources on how to prepare for the CELPIP reading module, the CELPIP website provides many free tools and resources to students to prepare them for the CELPIP exam, such as score comparison chart, informative sessions. They also do workshops and webinars. They have something called a CELPIP Accelerate Starter. There's practice tests. And they have CELPIP preparation programs, and they also do videos that they post on YouTube. So as the name suggests, the CELPIP preparation program prepares students for the CELPIP exam, and this program is made by CELPIP experts. So enrolling in the program provides various benefits to students like exclusive study material, guidance from CELPIP experts and test takers community. Now, for persons who are already versed in English, you may not necessarily need all of these resources except to practice using the sample test on the website so that you can have an appreciation of the format of the exam, what to expect on exam day so that there is no surprises. So you may not necessarily need all of the resources. A lot of persons just watch the CELPIP YouTube videos and listen to the CELPIP experts, how they articulate what the test, the markers are looking for, and that would be adequate if you are versed in English, if English is your first language and you are considered, adequately English proficient, then you just need to practice using the sample test online. In the description, there is a link that contains all the CELPIP resources. You can also check out the playlist on the channel to find all the materials that I have on CELPIP. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if not already, and leave a comment. This will help the information to reach other persons. Stay tuned for my next video.